Yes, Oscar was certainly the Maharaja of the piano, according to Duke Ellington, and probably according to a lot of piano players who knew him at the height of his creative powers. Oscar grew up in Canada, in Montreal, and he learned a lot of what he eventually was able to do as a youngster in Montreal. And he had a family and a father who endeavored to make him practice and get better and better. I think Oscar had so much talent that he didn't have to practice all that much, but I know from personal conversations with him that he did a lot of practicing at one point. Anybody who excels, athletes, doctors, anybody who excels has to do a lot of practicing. Those 10,000 hours that have been referred to is no joke. So I got to know Oscar back in the mid-'70s, and we first met out in Banff, and we spent a week together. And he said, well, it was great to perform with you and hang out with you. We may come across one another again. Goodbye. And within 2 or 3 months, he did give me a call, and I spent the first 6 months of our relationship traveling the world as a duo. And I was very surprised at that because I assumed that it would be a large group, at least 4 people. And he said, no, 2 people is enough. Hotels and running around and everything, it's a lot easier with 2 people. So all I ask of you is learn all the repertoire, and I'll see you at the airport. Anyhow, it got off to a very great start, and we spent the next, gosh, I don't know how many years off and on that I played with Oscar, but it was probably in the neighborhood of 30 years. He was a great guy. He was, as Jake mentioned, a real Canadian, and he always looked forward to coming back home. He would, when I was working in town, he would come back off the road, and he would give me a call. He said, "Come on over. We'll just sit around and talk." And he would always ask, "How are things going here in Toronto? How are the musicians? Is the work scene good for you?" And he was just interested. And then he would show up unannounced at different venues where we'd be playing, and guys would go, "Is that Oscar Peterson?" I said, "I think so." He said, "Well, we better play good tonight then." I said, No. The idea is you play good all the time. That's the request that he always had of me. You always give 101%. And that's one of the things that I really value that he taught me. He said, no matter what happens in the day, if things go wrong or whatever, he says, when you get out on that stage, make sure you give them 101%. These people have come to hear us perform, and I have to live up to that promise. A couple of notes here. So he was definitely an international star. And as I said, he always had the interest and the enthusiasm for the local scene. And I think that really tells you what kind of a guy he was. He was not only living on the international stage, but he wanted to come back home and see the guys and talk to them and sometimes perform with them. And I think he'd be very pleased to be at this event today. I know he'd be honored to be named as a Canadian and a resident of Mississauga. Thank you.